Stop scrolling right now because what I am about to show you happened to me. If you own a home, are part of an HOA, or live next to one, this exact nightmare could easily happen to you tomorrow. I walked out one morning, coffee in hand, and there was a brand new concrete block wall sitting smack in the middle of my yard. Not near my property line, not close to it, but directly on it. It was built by my aggressive HOA without my permission, without a single knock on my door, and without a single piece of legal paper. And when I confronted them, they just smiled at me. They actually smiled, so I did something about it. By the end of this video, you are going to know exactly what to do if this ever happens to you. Trust me, you want to stay until the very end. What happened next? Nobody saw it coming. Smash that like button right now. Subscribe to HOA Neighbor, and let us get right into it. Welcome back to the channel where real homeowners fight back. This is HOA Neighbor, the channel where real homeowners win, and I share every single detail so you never have to go through this alone. I am your host, and today's story is completely wild. This is one of the most infuriating, jaw-dropping, and ultimately satisfying things that has ever happened to me as a homeowner. Before I dive in, I want you to understand that I am not dramatic. I do not go looking for conflict out here. I mow my lawn regularly. I wave at my neighbors. I pay my HOA dues on time every single month like a good, highly responsible homeowner should do. So when I tell you that my HOA decided to build a massive wall directly on my private property, I need you to understand just how far outside the bounds of normal human decency that actually is. This was not a simple misunderstanding. This was not a surveying accident caught and corrected quickly. This was a deliberate decision made by a board of people who believe rules only apply to you. They think rules do not apply to them, so grab a seat right now. This story has confrontation, legal action, a professional surveyor, a very interesting board meeting, and a satisfying outcome. It all started on an ordinary Tuesday. I had taken the day off work, just a personal day for myself, nothing special at all, and I was doing some light yard work in my quiet backyard area. That is exactly when I noticed it. On the eastern edge of my property, where there used to be nothing but green grass and a small row of hedges, there was now a freshly poured concrete footer. They already had 3 courses of cinder block laid down. Workers were actively on site. Heavy equipment was running, and not a single one of them had bothered to speak a word to me about it. I walked over calmly. I want to emphasize that I was entirely calm, and I asked one of the workers what was going on. He told me they were building a perimeter wall for the HOA common area. I asked him if he was sure about the property boundary line. He pointed directly to a small orange flag in the ground and said, "That is the exact line we are currently working off today. Here's the thing about that orange flag. It was completely wrong. And I knew it was wrong because 2 years earlier, when I wanted to build a garden shed, I hired a licensed surveyor to mark it. I still had the official paperwork. I still had the metal stakes in the ground, and that new wall. It was eating a massive 18 inches directly into my legal, private property line out there. Now, 18 inches might not sound like a lot to some people, but legally, financially, and in terms of real property precedent, it is absolutely everything. I went straight inside my house. I called the HOA management company immediately and left a message asking them to halt construction until we could discuss the boundary line. I was very polite, and I was highly reasonable. I gave them every single opportunity to do the right thing. They did not call me back that day. The construction continued. The next morning, I drove directly to the management office. I brought 3 things with me: my certified survey documents, detailed photographs I had taken the previous afternoon, and a copy of my deed. I was dressed professionally and was totally calm. I was absolutely, completely, 100% serious about this. The property manager, I will call her Janice, because that is not her real name, greeted me with practiced indifference. Her attitude tells you someone has dealt with annoyed homeowners before and has zero intention of taking any of them seriously. Janice looked at my documents and nodded her head very slowly. And then she told me, and I want you to really hear this, she told me that the HOA's contractor had done their due diligence, and that she was confident the wall was within their boundaries. Janice did not look at a single document I brought to the table. She did not call anyone, and she did not measure anything. She was just entirely confident, based on absolutely nothing at all. I told her, still calm and professional, that I had a licensed survey on file showing the exact opposite, and if construction did not stop immediately, I would escalate this matter legally. She smiled that smug smile I mentioned at the beginning of this video and told me I was welcome to take it up with the board. I left that office and called a real estate attorney right away. Here is what most people do not know. HOA boards are not above the law. They operate strictly under state statutes, their own CC&Rs, and basic property law. Encroaching is a legal violation. In many states, if an encroachment goes unchallenged for a period of time, it can actually affect your ownership rights through adverse possession. You can actually lose that land permanently. That is exactly why I acted so fast. My attorney was brilliant. Within 24 hours of our first call, she drafted a formal cease and desist letter addressed to both the HOA board and the company. The letter cited specific state property statutes, referenced my recorded survey, included photographs with measurements, and demanded an immediate halt to all construction on my land. It demanded a joint professional survey conducted by a neutral, licensed third party. The letter was sent certified mail. It was emailed, and it was hand-delivered to the management office. Construction stopped completely the next morning. Now here is where things got really interesting. Because once lawyers get involved, suddenly everyone wants to have a polite conversation. Suddenly, Janice was not just confident anymore. Suddenly, the HOA board president, a man I had seen at exactly 2 neighborhood events in 5 years, was calling my cell phone personally. He was asking if we could talk things through. We talked things through with my attorney on the call. The joint survey happened 4 days later. 2 licensed surveyors arrived on the property. One was hired by me, one was hired by the HOA, and both arrived at the exact same conclusion independently. The wall was a full 18 inches over my property line, not close and not ambiguous. The wall was over. The HOA board had a massive problem. Now at this point, the HOA had 2 distinct options. Option 1 was to remove the encroaching portion of the wall at their own expense. Option 2 was to negotiate a permanent easement to keep the wall where it was, which would require my written consent, a recorded legal document, and fair market compensation paid to me. My attorney advised me on both paths. She explained the costs, timelines, and leverage I had in each scenario. Knowledge is power. The moment I understood my position, I felt in control. I chose to negotiate for an easement because I did not particularly need those 18 inches for anything, and the financial compensation offered made the whole ordeal completely worthwhile. But this is crucial. I made them come to me. I made them acknowledge in writing that they had encroached on my property. I made them cover all my legal fees, and I made them include a clause. The clause explicitly prevents any future encroachment without my written, notarized consent. That last clause was my attorney's idea, and it was pure genius. The block wall stayed put. The legal paperwork was filed with the county recorder's office, permanently attached to both property records, and the HOA board president wrote me a formal letter of apology on file. That smile Janice gave me in that management office, I thought about it the whole time I was signing those final documents, and I smiled right back. Let us make this video useful to you. Here is your step-by-step action plan if your HOA or neighbor builds on your line. Step 1. Know your boundaries. Get a current property survey done by a licensed surveyor in your state. This is your foundation. Without it, you just have an opinion. With it, you have legal standing. Step 2. Document everything immediately. The moment you suspect an encroachment, start. Take photographs with timestamps, videos, and written logs of every single conversation, call and email, date and time, everything. This will be the backbone of any future legal action. Step 3. Send a written notice right away. Do not just have a casual verbal conversation. Put it in writing. Send an email and a certified letter. Create a solid paper trail early. This prevents anyone from claiming later that they did not know. Step 4. Do not wait. This is the one that gets people. Encroachment laws vary, but adverse possession can begin quickly. If someone is on your land and you do not object formally, you risk losing legal ground literally. Step 5. Hire a real estate attorney, not a general practice lawyer. They know the codes. Many offer free initial consultations. And a well-written cease and desist letter often resolves these matters completely without ever going to court. Step 6. Know your HOA documents. Your CC&Rs, bylaws, and state HOA statutes are publicly available and legally binding on the HOA just as much as on you. Most HOA boards count on homeowners not reading them at all. Read them. Step 7. Stay calm, stay professional, and stay relentless. Emotional reactions give the other side ammunition. Document your composure the same way you document violations. This whole process took about 6 weeks from the day I saw that wall going up to the day the easement was officially recorded. 6 weeks of stress, legal fees, and endless certified mail. Was it worth it? Absolutely, without a single question. Because what I protected was not just 18 inches of green grass. Protected my absolute property rights and my deed integrity. And I set a permanent precedent that this HOA will think about before they ever pull something like this again. If you are in a property dispute right now, you are not powerless at all. Homeowners have rights, and property law exists for a reason. Sometimes all it takes is knowing those rights and being fully willing to enforce them. That is what this channel is all about. Every week, I bring you real stories, real strategies, and real outcomes so that you have the knowledge and confidence to stand your ground legally, professionally, and highly effectively. If this video helped you, gave you confidence, or just made you feel seen, please hit that like button right now. It genuinely helps this channel reach more homeowners who need this data. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell so you never miss a single story. Drop a comment below telling me if your HOA or neighbor has ever crossed a line literally or figuratively. I read every single comment and I want to hear your story. If you are in a dispute right now and need to talk it through, I will be in the comments below. Let us figure this out together. This is HOA Drama Neighbor. I will see you in the very next one. Don't let them win. Share this video with fellow landowners who need to protect their boundaries against corrupt boards. Subscribe to HOA Drama Neighbor for more.